myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra. Work with me,
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Chef, we got Juan, we got Draw, we got Studio, Flying Solo, Freddie. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here. Up and foremost, do me a huge favor, smack up the like button here on your way in. Subscribe over to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We're on the road to 18K. Cannot do it without you guys. So I appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. One other thing I want to mention before anything, I know we were supposed to do a live later on today, but at 6 p.m. today, we are going to be live on the NFC West Roundtable, covering everything NFC West. So I need the Bird Gang in that chat. We're always getting flooded by Rams as well as the Seahawks guys, so it's time for the Arizona Cardinals to come out and show up. So make sure you check out the NFC West Network. We will be live today at 6 p.m. AZ time, but let's chop it up here. Let's bring up my guy, Mythic AZ, aka Justin. It's been a while since I had him here on this channel, so we're gonna chop it up. Justin, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Good. I went on your channel last night. I think that's when you released the video. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Got a video out if you guys want to check it out. It might be a little outdated now that things are kind of finalized with the 53, but I mean, there's still some good conversation in there. So if you guys want to see us chop it up, check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you for jumping on. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things happening within the last few hours, right? The Arizona Cardinals 53-man roster just dropped, so we got to dive into that. I also kind of want to talk about just concerns within this roster just in general, and we're going to kind of open it up here. Let's start off with the injured players, shall we? Let's just kind of go right into the meat and potatoes here. We already heard that Walter Nolan, B.J. Ojulari, and Bilal Nichols, along with other people going on to IR, but let's just focus on those three right now. What are your initial reactions about just 16th overall pick Walter Nolan staying on the PUP list? What are your initial thoughts?
It's crazy because it's back-to-back drafts that you have a first-round draft pick, defensive tackle with a calf injury. You're 3 for 3, and he's starting on the PUP. So it's crazy because it's the same injury that was lingering with Darius Robinson last year, and you know how long that lingered. So hopefully it's not something to that severity, but it is unfortunate because it felt like we were actually going to have great defensive line depth, which we still do, but like the balance of veterans to youth. And now you kind of just lost that youth guy who you would like to get these valuable reps in, but it's not like we like necessarily need him, but it would definitely help. And it sucks because that's your first round draft pick, the guy that Jonathan Gannon has spoke so highly of. Right. And Nick Rallis has done phenomenal things. I want to see him come in here and wreck the game. But we're going to have to wait till at least week 4 if he's even good by then, which fingers crossed at this point.
And that's all we could really do. Fingers crossed at this very moment. We also did hear B.J. Ojulari as well staying on the PUP, and then Bilal Nichols. I don't think Bilal Nichols really kind of worries too much, at least for me. I can't really speak for you. But the B.J. Ojulari thing, man, it's just kind of a guy that you have so much high praise for, especially last year. He was supposed to be one of our best edge rushers, got hurt, and now we're kind of coming around, and he's not going to be available for at least the first 4 weeks. What are your initial thoughts on B.J. Ojulari?
It's kind of interesting for me with B.J. Ojulari because I had him as somebody who was either second or third string behind Zaven Collins. Whether he was going to get the start or not was completely up to how he came back and just battled. But he might get buried in this depth chart now the more I look at it. Like if Xavier Thomas or Jordan Birch come out and they're just balling in the regular season, like we've seen some good things in the pass rush department for Jordan Birch. He looks dominant. He's physical. It's hard to keep him off of the quarterback because he's just pushing people around 300 pounds at 6'6", dang near, or 285, whatever he's actually listed at. He's just throwing people around. And you would like to see him become better as the season progresses. He has a lot of things to work on, but he looks good. And then Xavier Thomas can get to the quarterback, a good speed rusher. And it's like if B.J. Ojulari can't stay on the field, he might be someone who's not on the roster next year. Yep. And not only on top of that, just get completely buried. And that's the reality. And it's like you go from a guy who could potentially be a starter to completely getting buried. Because Baron Browning at this point, I think, is a better player than B.J. Ojulari. I think that's just flat out how it is. And if B.J. can't stay on the field, because we don't even know what he's going to look like coming down after an ACL tear. And this isn't just his first major injury. He's had a few
Yeah.
So he's in a concerning spot where it's like, hey, if you can't produce or even stay on the field in the NFL, the best thing is availability. If you can't be available, you're not going to find yourself on many rosters. But the talent has been there. We've seen the flashes. So the upside's there, but can he stay on the field? That's my biggest concern. And I'm really hoping he can, but he might get buried. How do you feel about that? Because that's something that I've actually been thinking about.
Yeah, that's I never thought of the buried concept, but I think you're right, man. This is the final year that I feel like you got to see something from him, right? Second round pick, the very first second round pick from Monty Alstonfort's regime. So like you expect so much high praises, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like I was so high on B. Ojulari when we were like after the first round pick, when you make your videos about who's available in the second round, BJ Ojulari was up there for me. And I was like, this is a great pick. You got to go after him. But the problem is not that he's not a good player. It's that he just can't stay healthy. Like that is the big knock on him right now. And unfortunately, you're seeing kind of the same thing with his brother, Aziz Ojulari, which I was pretty high on. Hopefully the Arizona Cardinals are going to be able to bring him in. Kind of glad we didn't. I'm going to be real. But, at the end of the day, I was really hoping a lot of high praises. Now, the good thing that we got going for us is that Monty Alstonfort gave us a masterclass here in terms of getting so much depth within that D line. I get it, completely different positions, but like it gives you a little bit more of a breathing room, right? Like even when the interior guys with Dalvin as well as Calais Campbell on the outside with Baron Browning, now Birch is starting to kind of show out. I didn't think Birch was going to be like this. I'm going to be real, dude. I'm not going to come out here and said, oh, I projected Birch to come to the car. I didn't. I did not, but I'm so glad we did. Xavier Thomas is taking that next step, but he's kind of falling victim to depth as well. But overall, B.J. Ojulari needs to prove it this year. If he doesn't prove it this year, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not on this roster next year. Like, I'm going to be real.
Yeah. It really becomes who's going to produce. That's what it comes down to. If Xavier Thomas and Jordan Burks produce, Cardinals might just dabble in on edge in the draft. I mean, if we have a first round pick and we don't end up making a move, we're chilling and we're like, hey, you know what? Edge is something we need to pair someone alongside Josh Sweat. Maybe we go offense, receiver. You never know. There's a lot of positions that are kind of available, but BJ Ojulari, like you just said, is somebody who could get cut. So we'll see what happens, but it's something to monitor for sure.
Let's talk about this real quick. And I think this is probably one of those things that people really don't want to talk about right now. But of course, on this channel, I love to talk about these type of things. Walter Nolan obviously being your 16th overall pick, a lot of expectations coming in here. Now, I think there are expectations because we got so much depth. We're not going to really lean on him so much. Like everybody's already having the comparisons of Darius Robinson, right? Like the deja vu. Are you worried about that? Or do you think this is a lesser kind of severity to the cap? Or do you have that concern of, Darius as well?
I guess I'm not really worried, and Darius Robinson looks like a freak, so I'm not worried about either of them necessarily. I think they'll both be fine at the end of the day, but it's definitely a setback. You have to note, like, hey, it sucks, but it's not something that's going to alter you. We're not in a position where we need to rush Walter Nolan back. We have Darius Robinson coming back from the same injury who looks like a freak in training camp. Like, I love what we got right now. I think we're chilling, and I don't think it's anything to really worry about. Now, is it unfortunate? Absolutely. I think every single Cardinals fan, every single person in the chat right now, including myself and you, want Walter Nolan on that field right now. But that's just not the case. You got to let him come back slowly. Calf injuries, I preach this to the choir constantly. Calf and hammies are those two injuries you do not rush back from, because all it takes is one little plant. You tweak it and you're set back another 12 to 18 weeks just because of a little tweak because you came back too premature. You can rehab it all you want, but it heals with one thing: time. You got to give it time. There's no need to rush him back in a loaded defensive tackle room. I'm also glad we kept Justin Jones. I know a lot of people were 50-50 on my chat. I don't know about you, but that veteran presence, it helps. And Justin Jones, if you were there for training camp, we didn't have a Calais Campbell. We didn't have a Dalvin Tomlinson. He was barking and firing people up. He is a fiery veteran. And those are things that a lot of people don't see. You just see the name, him getting injured, and you're like, cut him. We don't need him. We kind of do. We need that veteran presence outside of that. And, I mean, it just helps for the young guys, too. It's just a different presence. So I'm glad we did it.
I agree with you, man. I think that because my chat was the same way too. I feel like there was a lot of people kind of going back and forth between like get rid of both, and that's talking about Bilal Nichols as well as Justin Jones. I was like, well, let's keep at least one of them. I mean, like, because if you're really looking at like over the cap, and if you cut them out flat right, it's not like the money benefits us for like, oh, we have all this cap savings, we can do this and that. I mean, hey, we're probably not going to do this and that. And on top of that, like, the cap savings is not, it's minimal. It's like 95,000 for one, and the other one's like 120 something thousand. Like, that's very minimal
Yeah.
in the world of the NFL. Like, that's not going to really do you much. So if you can bring back a Justin Jones, the veteran, and obviously having more of a rotational guy, I would rather do that than, not have him on this roster, to be real with you. So yes, it's unfortunate. Both of them were brought in as Iron Man, including Jonah Williams. They all got hurt, but let's see what this next year can do when we're not leaning on him to be that guy that's going to have 70, 80% of the snaps. He's probably going to dial back to maybe 40, maybe 35% of the snaps. We never know. We have so much depth within this defensive line. But positive note, Will Hernandez, it seems like he avoided the PUP list. He is going to start practicing. I don't think that really means we're going to see him in week 1. But that's cool. That's good news about Will Hernandez.
I love it. I kind of assumed he would be good to go, which is kind of shocking why BJ Ojulari's not, because he suffered his injury before.
Right.
So I don't know if there was a setback or what's going on there, if they're just taking their time, just like they are with Walter Nolan. Just don't rush it back because we're not in a position where we need you. We'll take you back when you're ready. But Will Hernandez being back, I don't think he was ever coming back to be the starter. I think he's that insurance policy where if things go south, or somebody gets injured, he slots in for either position. Because you could slide Isaiah Adams over to the left guard, which he's going to start at right guard. But you could slide him. If Evan Brown is slacking, then you slot Will Hernandez in because you know what he brings. He is a great player for this offense. But he's that insurance. He's probably one of the best backup guards in the league right now. And I think he's comfortable in that role. Coming off a torn ACL, he's probably not rushing. He's just happy to be back. He loves the Cardinals. He loves this team. And he's made that very clear. He loves Kyler, loves the offense. You see the team camaraderie. They're always popping out. Like James Conner, you got Kyler, you got Marvin Harrison popping, Greg Dortch, Will Hernandez. You got all these guys popping out. So I don't think he's here to be the starter. But if it comes or the opportunity arises where someone's struggling or someone gets injured, that is the best backup I think you could have.
Absolutely. Having him right there it's good, man. It's really good. You never know. Injuries happen left and right, not just offensively, but just in the trenches in general. So you never know what happens. I'm so glad we brought him back. And you're right. He does love Kyler. He ended up posting that picture that Kyler Murray was an in and out, and he had one like a tank top as well. So it kind of goes to show you that he truly believes in what Jonathan Gannon and everybody here is building. So he wants to be a part of it, and that is absolutely amazing to hear. For the sake of time, let's move on to the biggest shocks. I want to kind of get a gauge on where your thought is, and I want to give you kudos, man, because when we had a conversation yesterday, you were so big on Bam Knight, and I was too, but I felt it in your voice, man. How are your overall thoughts on Bam Knight coming on?
I love Bam Knight. I think in training camp, he looked really good, and you know how training camp is. It's not a lot of running back reps. It's a lot of pass, and it's a lot of pass. There's very limited running, and all the running you see is typically the ladder drills and when they're doing running rep or the running back drills just together. That's all you get. So when you're watching that up close, you can just tell Bam Knight has something that most people don't have. And I would say he is better than Trey Benson too, and that's footwork. His footwork and ladder drills, very quick. Also, on top of that, he just looks explosive. He has a quick burst. And we saw that. He just busted a 67-yarder for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I was preaching that he gets some preseason tick. He got 5 carries, and he made the most out of those 5 carries. And the NFL's tough. Tom Brady spoke about this before. He said, I used to complain all the time about getting 2 reps in practice when I was a 4-string quarterback. So then he complained, and he talked to his therapist or whatever and said, you got to make the most of those reps. So 2 became 4, 4 became 6. And I think Bam Knight is in a position where the opportunity arose. You're in the game. You got to do what you got to do. You got to make the most of those reps. I think the coaching staff knew the talent Bam Knight was, came into the roster in game 3. When he came in, those 5 carries, he popped out for a touchdown and over 70 yards. He made the most of it. I'm hoping we use him a little more. I think Greg Dortch, Weaver, or Bam Knight need to be the return men now that DJ Dallas is gone, which we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
I did not think it was going to happen, but it's nice to know they got the balls to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a good step in the right direction, where it's like, hey, we're not keeping you because of contract, which is the only thing that was really tying to us. With DJ Dallas, it was a 2 years, I believe, 6 to 8 million, whatever it was. But they don't care. They want the best football players on their team, and they've made that very clear. And I love everything about what they're doing right now, especially the Bam Knight move.
And that's I think you hit the nail on the head right there, man, when it comes down to the contract situation, because if you think about it here, like, they probably would have kept DJ Dallas, and that's what's always went in my mind, because I think I got that question asked when I did my earlier live stream. They're like, "Do you think DJ Dallas is gonna be here?" My mind is like, "Oh, for the contract, he probably will be here," and it seems like he is that punt returner/kick returner, but during, training camp as well as preseason, let's be real. We saw a little bit of twitchiness from Xavier Weaver back there. So I liked what I saw there, and seeing the fact that Bam Knight actually kind of beat him out and off the roster and completely took away a spot from the special teams is kind of a breath of fresh air. And not just because, like, oh, I don't like DJ Dallas, but like, if you want to have the best 53 guys on the field, right, or the best 53-man roster, you got to make these tough decisions, right? And at the end of the day, Bam Knight proved that he can be an explosive running back. Now, are we going to see him the regular season? That's probably not going to be the case, especially when you got the top-loaded running backs that you got. But you can use them. You can use them in this offense if Drew Petzing wants to get creative. Or if special teams want to use them, why not throw him back there as a punt returner/kick returner? That would be amazing. That would be a different look that the Arizona Cardinals would be, our fans would love to see. So I love it, man. I was actually pretty shocked when I originally saw John Gambadoro of Arizona Sports ended up putting that out. I was like, oh, let's freaking go. And I only could imagine what your mindset was. And so it's exciting news all around. I'm excited that we're seeing a different look here for the Arizona Cardinals. Let me talk to you real quick about Simi Fehoko. Biggest shock, Simi Fehoko as well as Darren Hall. What are your overall thoughts of them being cut?
I don't think Darren Hall's that shocking, to be honest with you. I don't think that's anything insane. Now, would I have liked to see him on the roster? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like Darren Hall. I think he balls out when given the opportunity. But are they really going to cut a third-round draft pick that really hasn't had the opportunity to even showcase anything?
Facts.
No. Like, that's what I'm saying. There's, like, certain things in the NFL where you just don't cut a player, especially with that much potential. Like, in college, he was really good. I believe he went to Florida State, right? If I'm not mistaken, he looked really good there. And then I believe he tore his ACL or something happened with him. And he came back and hasn't really had a chance to integrate himself. So you're not going to cut him. And then Denzel Burke, 5th-round pick, he's a brand new rookie.
I'm sorry, were you talking about Elijah Jones?
Yes.
Oh, Boston College.
Or Boston College. I'm pretty sure same colors. My head is
fair.
It's close. I'm not a college fan.
You're good.
But like, you're not going to give up on the 3rd-round pick, and you're probably not going to give up on the 5th-round pick that you just took as a rookie. You want to see what you got. And I think Darren Hall does make the practice squad, but Simi getting cut, wild. We're only rostering 5 receivers, 4 tight ends. That's kind of crazy to me. What do you think? Because the 5 receivers, I thought we would at least keep 6 receivers, but I kind of understand since we're run-centric that you roster the 4 tight ends, but we have 5 safeties and 5 receivers. Like, I don't know. It's just the least depth you have, unless we go out and dabble in on somebody else, which I don't know where we're going to go, because people are floating the name Jacoby Myers, go trade for him, or do a whole bunch of other stuff. And it's just like, I don't know how much of improvement that's going to make this offense. Like, I could see it helping for sure. I think he's better than Greg Jones.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
we talked about Elijah.
I think if you bring a 6'2" receiver in, you're doing a lot better.
Right. Elijah Jones, we talked a little bit about him last night as well. And I think we kind of both settled on, because we do both like Darren Hall. And you went to a lot of training camps. I went to a lot of training camps. When he's on the field, he's got an infectious personality, like very, very vibrant. And I think a few of his like family members were sitting maybe a few rows back, because I remember them saying, all right, bye. And then he was like, oh, good, blah, blah, blah. So like, he's got a really cool personality, and I like what he brings. But you're right. At the end of the day, when you're looking at the draft stock, Elijah Jones, and he really helped himself out in game 3. He really
100%.
helped himself out, Elijah Jones. So if he didn't have that, maybe we'd be talking about something differently. But seeing that we saw that potential and starting to see those, he could be a really good corner in the NFL, or maybe a 4th or 5th string or whatever it is. But, better than that. And he's got that 3rd round, grade on him. So the Cardinals were going to bring him back, like you said, at the end of the day. The wide receiving core, that shocks me, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. That really shocks me that the Arizona Cardinals decided to just roster the 5, and the 5 that we ended up rostering. Obviously Marv, Michael Wilson, Zay Jones, Greg Dortch, and then Xavier Weaver, which I like every one of them. So I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, they're terrible. But if you ask any national media outlet out there, where do you rank this Arizona Cardinal wide receiving core? They're going to have us probably in one of the lowest ones, right? And it's not shocking. It's not breaking news that I'm trying to be critical on this. The Arizona Cardinals could have used another person out there, maybe a different look. Semi Fehoko gave us a little bit of a light, a little bit of a differentness to see in this offense. Now we're probably griping about a number 5 wide receiver at the end of the day, 5 or 6. So it's probably not going to be a big difference maker, but I'm not going to lie to you, man. I hope the Arizona Cardinals go somewhere, either if it's a waiver claim or trading for Jacoby Myers. I'm actually a little higher on Jacoby Myers. I think he's a phenomenal number 2, heck, maybe even 2.5 wide receiver. His stats don't lie. He's a fantastic player, and even in the Patriots and the freaking Raiders, he took advantage of his opportunities. I think he's had multiple 1,000-yard seasons, 800-yard seasons in a plethora. I think he's a really good player. Now, will the Cardinals do it? Probably not. But I would love the Cardinals to dabble in potentially bringing in another wide receiver. I don't think they will, but I would love it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I remember getting flack for even mentioning Ibuka during draft time.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I still would have rocked with Ibuka. And if you could have nailed the draft the rest of the way how it went, the construction would have been crazy. But, it's in the past.
Yeah.
I am bought into Walter Nolan. But all I'm saying is when the receivers struggled to separate, just like they did last year, because we saw it, nothing has changed. Marvin will take a leap. He will be better. We know that. But Michael Wilson, where's the leap? Are we going to get that? If we can get a leap from Michael Wilson, we'll probably be in a really good spot. But Michael Wilson, I feel like, is just Michael Wilson. You know what you're getting out of Michael Wilson. It's not anything crazy. You'd prefer him as a wide receiver 3 over everything. But he's your wide receiver 2, and you just got to rock with it. I don't think Michael Wilson's bad. I think he has great concentration. He's good at 50-50 balls. He's also very physical for his height. So it's like Michael Wilson is a solid receiver, but could you imagine Ibuka in the slot on this offense?
I mean, I had him up there on top in terms of like the guys that I wanted. I like to kind of mix it around. I remember initially when I first heard John Gambadoro's like top 5, like he always likes to put that out every time. And then Walter Nolan, he gave us all the ones that the Cardinals were interested in. And I was like, okay, Walter Nolan was the bottom of the guys that I want. I'm going to be real. So that's why my reaction when we drafted him, I was like, okay, like, let's see what he does, right? It's not like I'm going to come out here and say, oh, this is a terrible pick. We don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know. Right. And he's going to be behind Calais. He's going to be behind Dalvin Tomlinson. Like, let's be real. He's probably going to learn from them. So this is probably a blessing in disguise to not throw him out there and have him struggle. Have him keep learning. And hopefully he comes back maybe week 5, week 6, week 7. Hopefully it's not at the end like Darius Robinson. But I was really looking for an edge rusher for the Arizona Cardinals. But I'm not going to lie to you. Emeka Egbuka would be pretty nice because I don't know if you are in tune with the Bucs. He looks good. Like, there's a lot of...
he looks phenomenal.
He looks
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I knew he was going to be good too. It's just like, this is like, I don't know. There's just certain guys where it's just like, you watch how they play the game. He is so insanely good at finding soft spots in zone. His hands are good. He's a separator. He can play inside, outside. Now they don't have to rush Chris Godwin back. Like, they have a guy. So it's just like, hey, you know what? And you saw him defer. Like, Ibuka could have came deferred. He deferred to an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, let's throw this out. He deferred to an 18-year-old freak of nature in Jeremiah Smith because he's like, hey, he's a stud. Yeah. I'm cool. Like, I'll do what I got to do. Whatever helps us win. And they won the Natty. So it's just like, he's a winner too. Like, come on. But I mean, I'm also not mad at the fact that we took Walter Nolan. Like, I trust our judgment on the coaching staff. They haven't really had a ton of whiffs. I guess free agency is the most, but free agency is tough. You know what I mean? At least you signed Mac Wilson. You've gotten some guys in here. Blake Gillikin was a good one. But it's just like, I don't know. Free agency's tough. But the draft, I feel like they've done pretty well. So we just have to continue to trust them at this point. And until he doesn't pan out or does pan out, we can have a judgment. My first initial reaction was a little salty. But then I'm like, you know what? Let me buy into this because I understand the potential with this pick. I understand the floor too. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a very high ceiling or a potential insanely low floor. We'll see what we get, but the work ethic is apparently there. Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rallis both love him. Monty Ossenfort love him. They took him at pick 16. So it's like there's something there that we didn't see. So we'll see what happens. But Ibuka was my guy, and I made that very clear. And they're like, it's irresponsible to take a receiver. So if we have wide receiver separation struggles, and I've made this very apparent, receiver and inside linebacker are the two positions I am concerned about. I'm not concerned about Mac Wilson. Maybe we run some 3 safety lineups, and that's where we go predominantly with DTD. Maybe that's why we have 5 safeties. Yeah. But Ibuka was my guy. So we'll see what happens. But hopefully Walter Nolan comes in here and just absolutely dominates because I'm not giving up on him. My opinion is about as 50-50 as you can get.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think if you haven't been called irresponsible on this platform or any other platform, you're not doing it right. So congratulations for being called irresponsible. But I mean, honestly, Emeka
Right.
Booker was up there in terms of the top wide receivers and kind of the type of wide receiver that we were looking for, to be real with you. A slot wide receiver that can give you that separation, that's a dynamic player. So I'm not going to harp on this too much. Walter Nolan's still our guy, obviously. We want to see him succeed. We want to see him get better once he's healthier. And the good thing that we got going for us, right, in terms of why we're not burning down buildings or panicking so much is because we do got Calais, we got Dalvin, we got Darius going into his year 2. We got a lot of defensive linemen that show promise. Jordan Birch on the outside. So let's let him heal. Let's see exactly what happens here. Let's move on over to this next thing I want to talk about. Biggest concerns overall in this 53 that you're seeing right now. And I want to give a shout out here real quick over to Theo Mackey of AZ Central. He ended up putting down the initial 53-man roster that we have here. And I'm not sure if you can see it here on your end, but what are your initial, I guess, concerns when it comes down to this initial 53 heading into 2025?
I don't see it. Let me go ahead and pull it up real quick,
Okay.
so I can actually give you my honest
Fair.
critiques. Because there's definitely some things where you're looking at the roster and you're just, I don't know. But like for the most part, I think I like it. I think receiver off the top of my head is something where I guess just like the depth concerns me. If we start Zay Jones, I'm probably more comfortable with Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison, and Zay Jones than anything. I like the fact that we did roster 4 tackles. I think that is smart. I wasn't really thinking. I was thinking Fryer was one of those guys who's teeter-tottery. But I think our offensive line could shock some people. Okay, now I see it. Now I pulled up your video. Okay. Concerns. I guess the outside linebacker position across from Josh Sweat is a little concerning for me. I would say inside linebacker, outside of Mac Wilson, and then wide receiver are probably the positions I'm really the most worried about. I think edge is still a little bit of a problem. I don't think it's insane, which is why I've kind of bought into the team Trey Hendrickson, Micah Parsons, but Trey Hendrickson's paid now for at least a year, so he's set to be a free agent 2026. So that's off the table. He's back for at least a year. He got $30 million. So what's going to happen? Micah Parsons, is he on the table? Who knows? Are we willing to give up whatever it takes to get him? Probably not. I can't really see Monty giving 2 firsts, a second, and like a Zaven Collins to go get Micah. So it's just like you need some help on the outside. Inside, I think you're just in the position where you're just praying that things materialize.
Yeah.
I really think so. But I'd say receiver is probably my biggest flash and probably edge.
What are you thinking about cornerback? Now, the top 3, I think we're all pretty confident, but I think there's a lot of young talent here. I think Garrett Williams, obviously, our number 1. There's no debate there. He's our number 1 cornerback. Either in the slot, nickel, whatever you want to call him. He's the best cover corner that we got. But Will Johnson, Max Melton, Keitrell Clark, Denzel Burke, and then Elijah Jones with the third round pick last year. Are you worried at all about that, or do you think Will Johnson's gonna lock shit up?
I mean, instantly, I don't know. Corners struggle, but Will Johnson does seem NFL ready. I would say he seems like the most like NFL ready prospect that we have in this draft class. I think Will Johnson has that capability of coming in just being NFL ready and playing disciplined football. We kind of saw him get beat a little bit in the first preseason game, but then he corrected himself. You know what I mean? He was jamming. He was playing physical. Just the things you love to see inside the 10. So I think Will Johnson will be fine. I think Starling Thomas going down with an injury is going to screw us a lot more
100%
than we really imagined. Because now if someone's gassed or you need to take somebody out for, let's just say like a minor injury on like a crucial drive, you don't have insurance. Like you don't have a Starling Thomas or a Will Johnson to come in and swap out. So you're just in a position where it's like, hey, Elijah Jones is probably – I would assume it would come Keitrell Clark as your corner 4. So he would come in if anyone subs out. And then Garrett Williams has the versatility to move inside, outside. So we're good there. But it's just like after Keitrell Clark, where do we got? I think Keitrell's looked better. A lot of people don't agree with me, but I think Keitrell Clark has had he looks better to me.
Yeah.
He's continually improved, and he might not be anything special, but he looks better. And then you have Elijah Jones and then Denzel Burke. I think that's how the depth chart plans out. But I can't lie, the Starling Thomas injury does suck. I was very confident in this corner group with Starling because Starling was a diamond in the rough. and now he's down. So it's like, okay, Will Johnson, we need you to stay healthy, and hopefully those injury concerns aren't real, and that knee problem isn't a knee problem that is going to be concerning. He said it's not,
Yeah.
and I do believe him. I genuinely do believe him, because 2 years ago, and you've been playing with a procedure already done, not really worried about it. But hopefully everybody stays healthy, because the depth at corner, I don't watch Catrell Clark sub in for like a Max Melton, and a lot of people aren't even high on Max Melton to begin with. I like the
Yeah.
prospect though. I think it's good for them to line up against a receiver like Marv.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with all the positions. I mean, there's some little bit of concerns everywhere. I think you have some players that are locked down in terms of, obviously, when you're talking about the inside linebacker, you got Mac Wilson Sr., which we're all pretty confident in. The wide receiving core, Marv and Wilson, just I guess really depending who you're asking, but Wilson being your 2 or 2.5, whatever you want to call him, or 3. And then the cornerbacks, although talent is there, there's a lot of young talent when it comes down, even Garrett Williams, man. Garrett Williams is what? How old? He's really young. I feel like he's not
I
like.
think 24.
That's what I'm saying. That's probably our oldest cornerback. Yeah, 24 years old. You hit it. Yeah, right. You're right. 24 years old. He's the oldest probably.
He's a 2001 baby too.
Yeah.
I'm 2001.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
crazy. I'm 26 days older than Garrett Williams.
That's
Holy
crazy.
crap, man! I'm at the age now where you're looking at NFL. Oh, shoot, I'm 6 years older than this dude.
Well,
I'm
imagine
there.
where I'm coming from.
I'm there now. Right? I'm there now. So
Right.
it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, it's only getting worse from here, man. Yeah, so there's that. And then there's also, the edge rushers, and you're right, Josh Sweat's really the only proven out there. You see Zayvon Collins kind of, do some good things here and there. Baron Browning, Jordan Birch, excited about him. Xavier Thomas, excited about that as well. But it's all kind of wait and see right now. I love the roster. I really do. I think it's the best roster we've had in a very, very long time, and it's being led by that defensive line. I think that's what's giving me the most excitement. One last thing real quick before we close up shop. Long snapper is not here. If you haven't noticed, they do this every year. I feel like they get rid of Aaron Brewer and they bring him back. Who is going to get cut? I see 4 tight ends here, which that last tight end probably is not needed. If I'm going to be real, Travis, is it Bokelneck? Who do you think is going to get cut?
Yeah, Okalek. Man. Oh boy.
Yep.
I think PJ is a cut candidate.
Yeah.
I think Keaton Crawford is a cut candidate.
Fair.
I think Travis is a cut candidate. I mean, maybe Bam Knight's a cut candidate, depending on where he plays in special teams.
Stab the heart.
But those are like the 4 that are kind of standing out. That's about it. I don't see anyone else where I'm just comfortable with it. I think Fryer's got to stay.
Yeah.
All the guards got to stay. Defensive linemen, everybody but PJ. And then Keaton Crawford. I guess you just make the decision with Crawford and Blunt, but I like Blunt a little more as it stands. Maybe Keaton Crawford can become that guy that Joey Blunt is right now and be better. But there's not much. Maybe the 4 tight ends, depending on scheme and game plan going into the Saints. I'm assuming we're going to try to run all over them.
Yeah. Agree. We got a quick super chat
Just
here.
like we always do.
Right. Quick super chat from John here. He says, glad to see you guys together again. You should bring back the Big Red Pod if your schedule allows it. Also, what's up, Mythic? So John says,
What's good, John?
All right. I know you are very short on time, man. Thank you very much for obviously chiming in. I appreciate your content. Tell everybody where they can find you before I let you go.
You guys, I don't know if you can see this. I'm pretty sure it's cut out. But Mythic AZ on YouTube. I believe my Instagram is it's Mythic AZ, and I believe my Twitter is I'm Mythic AZ, or my X. So if you guys want to follow me, check out all the content. Go ahead and follow me on TikTok as well. It's Mythic AZ. We're posting content everywhere all season long. We're both going to be grinding like crazy. So hit subscribe for him too. Go check out my channel. Hit subscribe. I am so close to 9,000. I believe you're on the road to 18,000 as we speak right now.
Yep.
So smack subscribe. No excuses. Hit subscribe. Cardinals content on both channels. Let's get it popping, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Mythic, man. Have a great rest of your day, brother. Later.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you for having me on.
Later, dude. All right, let's keep this rolling here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do a real quick break from our sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Quick shout out here to My Valley Prince.
Yo, Red Sea, you know how we rep the cards with pride every Sunday, so why not rep your own squad the same way? Whether it's your business, your team, or your crew, My Valley Prints has you covered with custom screen prints and embroidery right here in the desert. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, you name it. From clean logos to bold game day drip, they'll make your vision look like a first-round pick. Local, reliable, and always bringing that Cardinal level energy. Hit up myvalleyprints@yahoo.com or DM them via Instagram to get your gear started. My Valley Prints, built for the Valley, designed for you.
Yo, another shout out here to My Valley Print, sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We are getting another sponsor here come September, so you will be getting more commercials and stuff like that and ad reads, but it helps me out tremendously. So shout out to my guy John, shout out to my guy Mythic AZ coming in here and chopping it up. Make sure you go and subscribe on over to him. Great guy, great takes. And then of course, shout out to my guy John here with the first super chat here of the day. I want to give some love on over to the chat. I was not able to look at the chat since we have guests. It's kind of hard to kind of go back and forth with the chat. So I want to go ahead and make sure I read some comments here. What are your overall thoughts here in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen? What are your biggest concerns when it comes down to the Arizona Cardinals heading into the 2025 season? Let me know everything in the comments, and we will be reading some comments here. Let's go with DJ Boogie. What's up, DJ Boogie? He's saying this defensive line is the best position group by far that we have. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong one bit. I think the Arizona Cardinals right now are in such a blessing of a position to have the guys that we have. Calais, Dalvin, a year or two of Darius Robinson, right? The guys that we got right now is what's making the whole Walter Nolan news not as big of a deal as it probably would have been if we didn't get Calais or Dalvin, right? Or year two of Darius Robinson. So it helps. It absolutely helps. And I do agree that D line, including those edge rushers, are going to be, it's going to be nasty work, man. It's going to be really, I'm excited. Get Closer to God says, what did I miss? Oh, man, you missed a lot, buddy. We missed a great conversation with my guy Mythic AZ. Ended up chopping it up. We had a fantastic conversation. So I recommend anybody for just joining in right now to rewatch it. Great conversation back and forth. Uncanny in the chat says the middle linebacker. Yeah, we talked about this when Mythic was on here. Another shout out here to my guy Theo Mackey of AZ Central. They ended up putting this 53-man roster, and I do agree. There is a lot of concern when it comes down to that inside linebacking position. The only one I'm really confident is Mac Wilson Sr. Akeem Davis-Gaither, obviously, is going to be the guy opposite, Mac Wilson Sr., but there's still some concern. A lot of unknown when it comes down to it, right? So agree. Let's keep it going here in the chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. Appreciate you. We got Time Zone in the chat. Says, cut Dortch. I don't think they're going to, man. I don't think they're going to do it. I really don't. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they really, really like Greg Dortch. And they're going to continue to roll with Greg Dortch, whether we like it or not, right? Good thing that we got going for us is that the good thing that we got going for us is that we do have Zay Jones most likely going to be your 3, right? That's the good thing that we got going for us, if I'm going to be real. Biggest concern is the inside linebacker. Don't disagree. Don't disagree at all. Larry in the chat says both gave up yards and catches last year. I'm assuming you're talking about the cornerbacks because he says Milton will be solid. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? I don't think any of these guys, at least right now in the point of their career, let me take that back. Garrett Williams per PFF grades is probably one of the best cornerbacks out there. Now, he hasn't really been tested on the outside as much as he has on the inside. In terms of an inside cornerback, Garrett Williams is as good as it comes. He really is. Miles, let me run it back. Use your words right. Max Melton showed some flashes. I don't think he was a lockdown corner by any stretch of the imagination, but he showed some flashes. And we're all expecting a year to jump, right? So when it comes down to it, Max Melton, we're going to be leaning on him a lot. I hope the top 3 guys can stay healthy, because if we don't, it's gonna be panic central. I'm gonna be real. It's gonna be panic central. But I hope Max Melton can stay healthy. Hope Garrett Williams can stay healthy, and then obviously Will Johnson as well, because some people out there are saying the steal of the draft, right? So for the people out there saying cut Dortch, I just don't think it's gonna happen. Keep it with the chat. Thomas in the chat says, remember that time our running back room was so thin the Cardinals signed Adrian Peterson? And who remembers Chris Johnson days? Yeah, Chris Johnson. That was kind of in the mix when David Johnson days as well. When David Johnson finally came out and we're like, oh my God, who is this guy? Yeah. I remember that very vividly. And now, thankfully, we're rolling with James Conner, Trey Benson, hopefully taking a big step, Amari DeMarcado, and now Bam Knight. I'll take this in a heartbeat than what we were dealing with before. 100%. 100%. Uncanny in the chat says, "What's with the hate with Dortch? The few chances he makes places." I don't think so many people. It's so much hate, right? Well, I can't really speak for everybody, but I don't think it's really hate that people are kind of going for. But people really want a different look, right? I don't think people want to see another 5'7" slot wide receiver. I think that's what people are kind of going for. Now, is he kind of unfortunately getting the hate out of it? Probably, right? He's still a good player in my eyes. It's just I truly wanted to see a different look when it came down to it. And it's probably me because I did deep down wanted some sort of wide receiver in the draft and we didn't do it. So this is going to be something that we're going to be talking about, right? Because when you're looking at the roster before the draft, before free agency, you try to see what holes we have and what they did last year. And you wanted an upgrade, and the Cardinals didn't do that very much. So we'll see. I mean, this wide receiving core can be better than we think, right? This wide receiving core could be better than we think. We don't know, right? At the end of the day, we're just gonna have to kind of wait and see how it all shakes out. But yeah, I'm excited. Let's take a couple more comments, and then we are gonna be closing up shop. Do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen, smack up the like button here if you can do me that huge favor. Absolutely appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. Smack it up. And let's read a couple more comments, and then we will be closing up shop. John in the chat says Starling is definitely better than Melton, and that's no shade to Melton. Starling is just a dog. Starling was definitely one of the best acquisitions the Arizona Cardinals ended up bringing on a waiver claim. No doubt. He was that good. He was that good for the Cardinals. And, maybe Max Melton can take that next step, because sometimes it just takes a little bit, right? Sometimes it just takes a little bit for them to kind of get to the level that they need to. So here we go. One last thing I want to let you guys know. If you guys do not know, ooh, that was loud. We are going to be live on the NFC West network. Sorry, the NFC West roundtable today. If you guys could do me a huge favor, if you guys haven't already subscribed to the NFC West roundtable, do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the NFC West roundtable right now. If one thing you can do to kind of take away, this is where you want to subscribe. We're going to be live talking all things NFC West at 6 p.m. today. So a little over an hour from now. But I kid you not, every single time we are in this chat, it's Rams and Seahawks. And I'm sick of it. We need some Bird Gang representatives out there if you can do me that huge solid. Last week, we had over 8,000 views, close to 9,000. The week prior was 6,200. This is a show that's only going to take off during the season, and I need y'all's support. The Arizona Cardinals can use your support in the chat. Just search up the NFC West Roundtable, NFC West Roundtable, and go and subscribe. We will be live at 6 p.m. today. It's a very good show. Trust me when I say it's a very good show, and the chat is absolutely crazy, but it's very fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's close up shop right here. If you guys ended up missing what we talked about, we went live with my guy, Mythic AZ. Great guy, great content creator. There is an issue right now with YouTube where I can't even fix my description, or I can't even put tags. So once that is ready and established, I will be putting his tag below so you guys can go ahead and subscribe on over to him. But we had a great conversation breaking down the 53-man roster, everything you need to know about the Arizona Cardinals heading to 2025. So do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen. Smack up the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, and subscribe to the NFC West Roundtable, which we will be live in a little bit over an hour from now. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. JK and Uncanny, they can't do it alone. Ladies and gentlemen. We need your help. Come on over to the NFC West Roundtable at 6 p.m. AZ time, and you will not regret it. Another shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. My Valley Prints. Check them out here if you're looking to get a new customizable hats, shirts, anything like that, hoodies. Make sure you check out My Valley Prints. Everything will be in the description below once I'm able to do it, but the best way to reach out to them is via DMs on Instagram, and on top of that, you can go ahead and shoot them an email here on myvalleyprints@yahoo.com. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.